Best of r/entitled parents episode 92. Subscribe for edit videos daily. TL. Doctor. By the way, the woman is the same woman from https://www.reddit.com/r/entitledparents/comments/f3ufra/woman thinks I infected her son with the slash. Never have I ever encountered a worse Karen in my life. This woman literally ruined my day. She takes second place on my most hated list. And by the way, moderators, can you please not delete this as well? It's not fake. And as for the readers who think this is BS, then keep your trap shut and get your ass off this post. Background: I live in Canada. My parents are Chinese people that immigrated here for obvious reasons. In my neighborhood, most people are like that as well, so there's really no discrimination. Near my school, there is a convenience store that everyone goes to. My parents give me a low but balanced allowance, so I have to be wise with my earnings. Many people ask me for money, and I usually feel really bad if I say number. Two things which do not go together well. So that day I had exhausted all the money I brought because of my friends begging me for food. All I had for myself was a bag of Ruffles all dressed. I finished it in like a few minutes. I was with some of my school friends when enters the devil herself. Oh, and by the way, the cast. Me, original poster, Chinese. KK, crazy Karen take a guess. KKKK, crazy Karen's cool kid, he was nice. BTW, F1, friend 1, Chinese. F2, friends 2, Cantonese. F3, friend 3, Islamic Indian. F4, friend 4, Jewish. KK, hey, could one of you buy me something? F2, ask him. KK looks at me, I'm sorry, but I don't have any money to spend anymore, because some people kept begging me for food. I looked at my friends while saying some people. KK, but my son is hungry, and so am I. KKKK, who looked perfectly nourished, but I'm not gonna assume. Mom, can't we just go? KK, KKKK, be quiet, I'm busy. KKKK leaves. Me, I'm sorry, but I can't. KK, I asked you nicely, and you treat me like this? Me, I'm very sorry, but as I told you. KK, if you're too lazy to buy something, then just hand over the money. Me, I told you, I'm out of money. KK, liar. Give me the money or I'll call the police. F2, go away. KK, you will not talk to me like. F2, I can talk to you however I want. Now get the FCK out of. KK, you need to learn how to respect your elders. F1, okay, boomer. KK, I will call the police if you. F3, how about you get the FCK? KK, terrorist, you don't. F3, what the FCK? Me, go away. KK, shut up, you math addict. F2, how about you go FCK your. KK, you all need to give me your things now. And she proceeds to try and take our belongings. F1, hey, get your hands off me. F4, come on, let's get away from this retard. KK, all of you are filth. A terrorist, a kike and 3 communists in one day. The others leave. I was about to go with them when. KK, hold up, you still owe me money. I turn around. I still hate myself for not ignoring her. Me, what do you want, lady? KK, you will not speak. Me, I will speak to you how I want, whether you like it or. KK, be quiet. You have no right to talk to me like that, you ungrateful refugee. Me, I'm not a refugee. KK, don't you lie to me. Me, there's no way I'm going to give you money. It's my property. KK, you're just an unimportant inferior. You have no property here. I, as your superior, have every right to take belongings from nothings like you. Now give me the money or I'll call the police. Me, go call them then, and I hope you starve. Enraged, I stalked home, ignoring her yellings that I would be imprisoned and sentenced to death for my rudeness. A few hours later, I was strolling and saw the same woman yelling at a couple of policemen. I guess she really did call the cops. And half a year later, I had another bump in with her. This one led to her injuring her own child. I didn't call the police for either because I don't want to get into trouble for lying to the police since I have no evidence. Hope that clears everything up. And if I see another "why didn't you call the police" in the comments, I swear, I will explode. TL. Doctor. Thank you. Next. Another poster reminded me about the neighborhood outcry over our electric fence. We had a couple hundred cars and other motor vehicles stored at any given time. The neighborhood kids, older teens, some were actually adults, like to break in and steal personal items left in the cars, wallets, radios, GPS units, etc. If they stole the radio out of the dash, they'd rip the dash apart, so we'd have to replace the radio and repair the dash. It would be a very expensive repair. We had a 6+ foot high fence topped with razor wire and an alarm. They'd find ways over it. Usually they'd throw a mattress on the razor wire and hop over using a car. To protect ourselves, we put up an electric fence inside our security fence, the one topped with razor wire. The electric fence was 6 feet inside the outer fence. Neighborhood parents decided they were up in arms about our complete disregard for their little fuck trophies. The local councilman and police lieutenant came to me asking what we could do to calm the neighbors. Mind you, the electric fence was installed with the blessing of the local government, fully permitted and licensed. I told the politician, he was the real mouthpiece, that we would not be disarming or removing the fence. He told me that neighbors were very concerned for their children. I asked him which neighbors were most vocal. He told me. I looked at the lieutenant and told him that those were the kids to look into when there were burglaries and thefts in the area. The politico asked why. I told him the parents most worried about their kids were the one that had kids they knew were climbing the other fence and stealing and vandalizing cars. Then I took them to show the fence. You would seriously think the councilman would have taken a closer look at the setup, but he only looked at the big yellow high voltage warning signs. When we got the storage facility, the lieutenant laughed. The councilman looked like he walked in on wife in bed with his best friend. He was mad and surprised at the same time. They looked at the setup. The electric fence was 2 full steps inside the property. There was no way to accidentally contact it from the sidewalk. The only way to get to it would be to climb the outer security fence. The kids weren't allowed in there ever, under any circumstances. It didn't take long for the councilman to learn he had been played by the neighbors. The lieutenant was fairly entertained. He actually laughed. Then councilman said something politically correct and left. I looked at the lieutenant, and we talked about the families that were really upset about the fence. They outed themselves as the suspects in a number of crimes. One of the older kids would shoot someone about 2 years later. He would actually caught on a stolen ATV from our other location. The lieutenant chuckled and said, "Now I have to figure out what to say to the parents of these crooks." I said, "Tell them I want to know if they prefer their delinquents regular or extra crispy. Thank you." Next. My best friend and I had known each other from mother and baby groups our mothers went to when we were first born. We have exactly the same name, lived 30 seconds from each other, and we were always referred to as the 2J Pickle 96s as we were inseparable. Fast forward a few years and we're in probably our 2nd year of primary, elementary school in the UK, and we used to catch the school bus from the same stop together, and would always sit next to each other. Another girl in our class also caught this bus, but only on certain days to fit her parents' work schedules. One of those days comes along and my best friend and I take our usual seats on the bus, only for the other little girl's mum to follow us on and physically grab me and move me to another seat so her daughter could sit with my best friend. She did that all in full view of my own mother. Bad move. Grinning face with squinting eyes and sweat drop. Cue a full-blown mum slanging match, by the end of which the other mother stormed off with her daughter and drove her to school instead, whilst I sat next to my best friend on our now extremely late school bus. Turns out the other little girl had complained that she wanted to be the other J Pickle 96's best friend and didn't like that I was always with her. So, by her entitled mum logic, physically grabbing another child and literally pushing them away so her own kid could get her own way was a better way of dealing with things than by, explaining to your kid how friendships work and that all 3 of us could have been friends. Mine and my best friend's mums were not impressed, but no matter what they tried to say, the other girl's mum just could not comprehend how what she was doing was both entitled and wrong. Her little girl deserved to have her own way, and it wasn't fair that I was her best friend. It was her daughter's turn now. We were 5/6. Faced with tears of joy. Jokes on them though, that was 18 years ago. The other J Pickle 96 and I are still best friends to this day. Victory hand with light skin tone. TL. Dr. Entitled mum tried to physically take me away from my best friend because her daughter was jealous. Thank you. Next. Okay, this happened in 2012, but is by far my worst entitled parent story. Some background. This was in Eugene, Oregon. So imagine like 50% of the people being smiling people with dreads and very non-confrontational. My boyfriend at the time was a photojournalism major and had a big assignment due but of course procrastinated it. It was an abusive relationship, so if he did poorly it was likely to be taken out on me, in more than likely a violent way. I really wanted to go to this mushroom festival where one of my professors was doing some cool lessons and had already planned on going. I convinced my boyfriend to do his assignment on the festival as I was always his photography assistant even if I already had plans. So he begrudgingly comes along and starts taking pictures. I go to my professor's lecture. One of the things he starts taking pictures of is a clown doing some performance for the kids. He gets a few shots with some kids and them and sees if he can find their parents to get their permission for use of these pictures. Enter Emma. To call her a Karen would not shine light on how emotionally damaged this woman seemed, who apparently gets in his face and demands he gives her the film for all the photos because he doesn't have permission to take any photos without parents' consent. They go at it about his photography pass and what is or isn't allowed by law, and in the end he deletes all the pictures with kids just to get the lady off his back. He then hands me his camera bag and goes to take more pictures. Cast. Me Brad. Brad, he is an asshole and can keep his asshole name. Emma. Entitled parent. PV. Poor volunteer. EC. Event coordinator. Emma. Hey, give me that camera. I told you need to give me the film. Brad, it's a digital camera. I deleted the photos in front of you. Emma. Liar. I know how cameras work, give me the camera. Brad, nope. Walks away leaving me with crazy. Emma. You bitch, you're letting him get away with pedophilia. I know men like him. Abuser. At this point I'm panicking because he is an abuser, but definitely not a pedophile, and I'm just stuck with this lady. PV. Is there something going on here? Emma. You bet there is. Her and her pedo boyfriend are going around taking pictures of little kids and she won't give me her film to destroy them. PV. Is your camera in the bag? Emma. Damn it, where are my kids? You take care of her, I have to go find my kids. Me. No, I don't have the camera, my boyfriend does, but it's a digital camera and he literally deleted all of the photos right in front of her. She just came up and started screaming abuser at me because I don't have the film. I don't know. PV. Okay, do you mind if I ask you to point out your boyfriend? This is a very serious allegation and we need to make sure. Me. Yeah, he's Brad. He is the super bratty looking guy in the U of O hat and hoodie wearing flip flops in October. Time passes and I'm meandering through the vendor section still with the bag. Emma. I told you to give Emmy that camera. Pedophile. She then proceeds run full speed at me and start grabbing the bag as it's wrapped around my neck. Me. Lady, I don't have the camera, just lenses in here, now get the fuck off me right now or I'm going to have to hit you. Emma. Pedophile. Emmy. Looking at a crowd of 75 or so people. Is anyone going to help get this lady off me? I'm going to punch her if she doesn't let go of me. Emma then falls to the ground, tripping over herself, and grabbing me and taking me to the ground as well. PV. Lady, I talked with Brad and he's showed me that he deleted all the photos. I stand up. Emma is still trying to get herself off the ground, looking up at me and PV for help. Emma. Get Joyce. I know her. She'll deal with you guys. PV. Mom, I don't know a Joyce. Emma. Get Joyce now. You're all in big trouble now. EC. Mom, I know Joyce and she hasn't been a part of this event for 4 years. Can I help you? Emma. This girl is a pedophile and she's helping her abusive pedo boyfriend take sick pictures of kids. I need to destroy her camera. Me. I don't have the camera. Show them bag of lenses. PV has checked the camera. This lady just snapped and has been following me around the festival screaming abuser and pedophile at me. PV and EC then go off to the side and talk. EC. I've called the police so you guys can move this outside the festival and deal with it there. I need you both to leave immediately. Now I'm scared, because while this lady is definitely off her rocker, she is right that my boyfriend was an abusive person. Just to me. If I left and he couldn't find me as there was no cell service at the location, then I would be there stranded for a long time and I would definitely have it taken out on me later. Me. Please, can I just find my boyfriend? If we get separated it's going to be crazy difficult to meet back up. Also he has the camera so he'll need to show it to the cops to show we're not pedophiles. Just students trying to get an assignment done. PV. Yeah, I get it. Can you wait right outside the exit and I'll see if I can go find him? Me. Yes, that would be incredibly helpful, thank you. Emma. I'm not leaving till I find my kids. EC. I'll help you find them and then you need to leave immediately. In the end I waited for like 5 minutes before Brad and PV come over and we give him our contact information. We leave without talking to the cops because there was no way they were getting there in less than an hour and then we had no idea where we were supposed to meet them. I have no idea what happened to Emma or her kids, she kept leaving by themselves free for real pedos to get. But I'll always remember the eerie feeling I got being called out by a stranger that my boyfriend was an abuser, all while simultaneously being called a pedophile. It shook me to say the least. TL. Doctor, lady doesn't understand how digital cameras work, demands to destroy my boyfriend's camera, stalks me around Mushroom Festival while screaming abuser and pedophile at me until she full on attacks me and we both get kicked out. Thank you. Next. For context, I am a security supervisor at a warehouse that is pretty hush hush on what they let the public see about their warehouse. They are also very cautious on who is allowed in the building. When you walk through the front doors you are met with turnstiles and my colleague and I. The warehouse is also right off of a highway with multiple convenience stores and fast food restaurants. Also a Walmart and another local department store. This will be useful later. So now for the cast. Me, ED, entitled Dad, EDK, entitled Dad's Kid, PO, Police Officer, GM, Warehouse General Manager. The events went as follows. ED and EDK walk into the warehouse and ED starts pushing on the turnstiles, which are obviously locked unless you have a badge. ED then walks up to the security window with EDK trailing slightly behind him. Me. Hi, what do you need, sir? ED. My daughter really needs to use the bathroom. Me. I'm sorry but I can't let you in. ED. Come on man, she's 7 and really needs to go. Me. Sir. Even if I wanted to I couldn't because it is against company policy and also kids are not allowed in the warehouse for safety concerns. ED. Open the effing door now or I'll break the damn thing. Me. Still trying to stay calm sir. There are plenty of stores and restaurants around here to take her to. ED. You need to let me in now or I'm going to break the door. Me. Listen, those turnstiles are locked in place and will not move without a badge swipe. ED. I don't give a F. I'll do it. EDK. Daddy, can we just go? ED. No. ED then proceeds to kick the crap out of the turnstiles, which doesn't do anything as it is locked and won't move an inch unless a badge is scanned. Me. Now super pissed. Leave now or I will call the cops. ED. Fuck you. You won't do shit. I want to talk to the person in charge. I then explain to him that the GM does not speak to anyone unless they have an appointment. My colleague is now on the phone with the local police department. ED then goes outside and puts his daughter in the car, which is parked in the fire lane BTW, and comes back in and starts yelling at me more about how I'm a poor excuse of a human being and will never amount to anything. This goes on for about 10 minutes until PO shows up. He asks me what happened and I explain all the events and make a report. I then give him the legal team's contact information so that they can get permission to receive the video footage that I saved of the incident. PO said he will take it from there and I never heard about it again. This was 2 weeks ago and I am sure that I will receive an email at some point from legal asking for the footage. So, that's my story about this ED refusing to just leave so his daughter can use the restroom. Poor girl. Thank you. Next. It was a warm May night in California. I was at my baseball practice and doing pretty well talking to my buddies in the batting cage. All of a sudden we see a car with very bright headlights pull up. A woman walks out. She comes up to the entrance of the cage where we were all waiting. We will call her EM, entitled Mother. Her kid will he know as NK, nice kid. He looked at her and she said, what is wrong with you? She then asked, why are you embarrassing me? She was super heated. He replied with, what are you talking about? This was probably not the best thing to say back. She then went on a rant complaining about how she got some email and how her son, NK, was embarrassing her. We had no idea what EM was talking about. She then ranted on for 15 minutes. On her way out we laughed at her. She then walked up to us and yelled at my friend, you think it's funny little boy? She walked away. We all gave each other that look. You know, the one you give someone after someone freaks you out. Turns out our coach sent out an email about misbehavior on the team. However, he was talking about everybody. He sent it to all the parents. EM thought he was only emailing her, so that's her reason for being pissed. And that's it. Thank you. Next. Just a bit of backstory. I'm Indian, 17, and don't look anything like a stereotypical Asian at all. Now for the story. I was out shopping for some groceries since we just landed back home. From traveling on multiple connecting flights, I ended up getting a bit sick. So, to avoid getting my family sick, I wore a mouth mask, which was a black surgical mask. I was buying kimchi, Korean cuisine, and in walks EM into the aisle. She is what a typical Karen looks like from hair to her clothes, dragging her child, 17-year-old son, NK, behind her. She looked at me and staggered backward, luck being on my side. I sneezed. The look of her face was as if I asked her for a kidney. She tried dragging NK to hide behind her. Now this guy is amazing. He is the exact opposite of her, kind, caring and socially aware. We had meet when I was in the park playing with my sister. I had ended up knocking him over. The three ended up hitting it off together. So, naturally he came forward to say hi to me and ask about my trip to India. Wrong move. His mom started screaming like a banshee. Her face red, she lunged at NK and literally dragged him away from me. When she did, he landed on his wrist. Still not sure about her reaction, I went to help him up. Again wrong move. She started screaming, get away from US. Chinese bitch. I was caught off guard and step away from her. NK reacted the same as me, as he knew I was Indian. He tried to correct her and she flipping slapped him. From his reaction, it was not the first time she had done this. Her yelling continued, causing staff to rush at us. Now this store is a small and I'm in and out pretty regularly, and the staff recognize me. They start asking her what happened and she went off. She told them how I am going to kill them all as I was armed. Now this is where the staff were shocked. They looked at me and I can't hide a weapon on me. So, that was disproved quick. They asked her what led her to believe so and she said I was sneezing. I couldn't help it. I finally connected what she was on about and I lost it. I was laughing and so was NK at this point. They asked her why that mattered. So she explained, still screaming she's Chinese. She's going to kill US. She's sick. This made the staff holler in laughter. Now, we all got it. Well, except her. Wrong move. Once again. She ran out and started yelling for the cops to come to her. Now, these cops are chill and are well aware about her attitude. They still come to her and she explains to them. They asked her what makes her think I was Chinese. Her reason: she was buying Chinese food and is wearing a mouth mask to cover her sickness. These cops knew I wasn't Chinese clearly. The cops took her aside to speak to her. Taking this chance, I asked NK about his wrist and if she has hit him before. Now, I had asked this on purpose. His back was faced to the cops so he didn't see them walk up to us and hear him say yes. I asked him why hadn't he said anything about it. His reason was pity. He didn't want her getting in trouble but was sick of her behavior. The cops decided to make their presence known. They had a talk with him that I won't explain here. She was taken on accounts of child abuse, public disturbance and false accusation. Later got to know she had abuse of substance added to her list. NK was turning 18 in a few days, so he was given to his mum's brother to be taken care of. So yup, that's my story of one of my EM stories.